What's up, internet world, and welcome back to the channel. Today I bring you the 2021 Stinger GT made by Kia. Finally, a fresh of breath air. We've got the Kia Stinger. You see, Kia, yeah, Stinger, yes, but this car was actually engineered and designed by two Germans that used to work at Audi and, of course, BMW. So if you closed your eyes for a minute and you drove a German competitor and this Stinger, you would tell yourself, they're very similar, which I'm going to show you in this video. And those people will tell you, are you out of your mind? A German car drives totally different than anything else. But that is not entirely true. All right, so we're gonna give launch control a go here, and I've hit the stability program button down, and then I hit it down again and held it, and now I'm in sport, and foot to the ground, throttle down, launch control ready, and let's go. Pretty good, pretty good. She goes. Now, you can't really feel how fast you're driving, and that I respect because that's something German vehicles do very well, and they've done exactly that. They've made sure that when you drive fast, nobody in the car notices. That is a feature that's hard to actually replicate. Good job. Cool kids drive Kias. There are those that think Kia cannot make a real sports sedan. Those people are probably the same people that tell me that I should sell my R8 and buy a real Lambo because an Audi R8 is not a Lambo. And they are right. Except the difference is, this is a real sports sedan. Sometimes in life, it's about how it's presented or how it's sold. You see, if I went home and I told my wife, babe, we're getting a Kia, versus, babe, I'm gonna go look at a 5-seater, 4-door hatchback or fastback that makes 367 horsepower, and that is available in a twin turbo. Yeah, what do you think she'll say? You see, there will come a time in our lives, maybe soon, maybe not soon, that we will stop using our homes as piggy banks and actually be sensible with our money. And when that time happens, that is when this car will appeal to you. So I'm only gonna spend one more comment on the word Kia. And I'm only doing that because, yes, there is a stigma with the brand, except if you change the badging. Now, I don't particularly want to change the badging because I want to get rid of Kia. I only do it because this badge is ugly compared to the other one they have. You see, Kia is a brand that is moving forward and not backward like a few other brands in the market today. They make cars like this, the Telluride, and the award-winning K5. There's not too many other manufacturers right now putting out product that can produce that type of material. So this is a GT Limited in neon orange, and this is a 2021. Yes, you're expecting the new version, but not yet, folks. The new one will be here in 2022 for the North American release. So I really want to know what you guys think about these looks. Look at this thing. Do you think this thing is as good looking as some of its German counterparts or not? Do you like the design of it? And if you don't, what's wrong with you? This was designed by a German. You see, German cars are small. People always complain about the small back seats. Well, this compared to the Audi S5 and the BMW 440 is 6 inches longer. So there are bigger back seats. This is a fastback or a hatchback or whatever back you want to call it. But you can put 2 bikes in the back. You can also put 19-inch wheels standard. One thing I really do like is the simplicity of ordering one. They come one way. You get them loaded. You don't get them loaded plus a whole whack of options like BMW. Yes, you get more customized stuff, but remember, this car is 10 grand cheaper. That's a lot of money. Let me go ask my wife. This thing does 0 to 100 or 0 to 60 miles an hour in under 5 seconds, 4.7 to be exact. This thing does have limited slip differential, and it does have Brembos, 4-piston in the front, 2-piston in the back. So Canadians, we are lucky because we get this car for 50 grand. The Americans, unfortunately, don't. They pay the same amount of money, which is basically like 200,000 Canadian. What really piqued my interest was a couple months ago, I went to Banff, Alberta, and we rented the cheapest possible car I can because I like to know what you can get for $20 a day. And they put me into a Kia Forte. And when I drove that thing, I was so impressed by its suspension and its handling. It came with Bluetooth, it came with Apple CarPlay, it came with wireless charging, great suspension, and it could fit a lot of things for $20 a day. So I thought, I might as well reach out to Kia and see if I can get something that's fun and exciting. And they watched the channel and they thought, we'll get you a Stinger. It was cold out there and we're back in the studio. So this is the key, which people say looks like a, but it's leather wrapped, or appears to be leather wrapped. This is probably one of the coolest keys I have seen on a vehicle. Take a look. So we're back. So in the studio, I can show you the grille properly. Now this tiger-shaped grille actually has some really good integration features in here because this is where all the hardware of Stop and Go and the camera is hidden, which is pretty neat because a lot of the places have them in here and they have them up there and it's huge, but this is nicely integrated in there. All right, so let's check under the hood and view this 3.3 liter, but before we do, this and this gets a lot of hate because they're non-functional. But they actually make the car look better because it seems really Jaguar type. And there's a lot of features on this car that are very Jaguar-ish to me. A lot of other people see different brands, but I see Jaguar when I see this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But under the hood, we have a 3.3 liter V6 twin turbo with a limited slip differential that makes 365 horsepower and 376 foot-pounds of torque, which is mind-blowing. Twin turbo. It is also available in a 2 liter that makes 255 horsepower, which in 2022 will make over 300 horsepower. The V6 remains unchanged in 2022, so buy a 2021. Yes, you can probably get them for a good price, even with COVID limited supply. So you can get them in 2 variants. You can get them in a rear-wheel drive in the US and all-wheel drive, which what this one is. It does have an 8-speed transmission, but along with that, it does have electronic adjustable suspension in sport. Another cool part that people don't know is that in eco mode, the transmission actually decouples. That way you get better fuel economy while coasting. Did you know that? Question mark. And speaking of did you know that, this channel has 26,000 subscribers, and thanks to you, we don't have 890,000. That is because almost 3% of you subscribe and the rest don't. Now, if we flip that number around, we would have close to 1 million. Can you imagine? Close to 1 million subscribers. Yes, subscribe. Thank you. Okay. Yep. There is function in this bumper. Air does flow through here, come back, cool the brakes, go along here, and slides out here. So there is design features of this car that is thought about, and that includes this mirror. You see, this side mirror in most cars is placed up here, but the new generation cars have moved this down to the door panel. I really like when you can touch the door handle and it opens. I really don't like when you have to push a button and then open it. It's like a 2-step system. I really like the handle and this. The other thing I noticed is that this front 2 doors actually have a light in them to let me know that I have to put my hand there to open the door, but the back ones don't. So at night, this looks really weird. It just doesn't look uniform at night. When I unlock my car, only the front 2 door handles illuminate. Why? One of Kia's design elements is curved. They've got curved LEDs, and they actually have a curved tiger nose cut out of the front upper windshield. It's cut out. I've never seen that in any car before, where it's cut out that these look like 2 separate individual panels. Here is another design feature that is different on a fastback, and framed doors. These are not frameless. These are full out solid doors, ones that you can hang off like car salesmen do. Now I'm going to talk about the interior headroom in the back in a moment, but in order to get that, they had to do something to not put glass here. You see, a lot of people wanted glass or a full flow-through system, but it's difficult to get headroom. That's why they have this. One thing I do love are these wide hips. I really love how wide this booty is. Check out the curves on the back end of this thing. So on the back here, I really love the way the rear spoiler overhangs, but it only does that because they thought about the bumper. You see, the bumper sort of incorporates it all in. This is just not an after-the-fact piece they put on the bumper to make the bumper look different, or a trunk piece. It's actually all incorporated from the rear bumper that's taken from the rear quarter panel, so it's all kind of pieced together. So they were really thinking about design here to make this back really stand out. So again, there's a lot of controversy about the back end of this car, but I really like it. It includes the rear diffuser, the quad exhaust. The only thing that I would change on the back here is the rear view camera placement. That is where Audi's put them, and they always get dirty. They should relocate that, in my opinion, under the emblem or right here. Somewhere different, in my opinion. They are missing something though, or maybe I can't figure it out. But there is no kick trunk, unfortunately. You gotta hit this button, or you gotta hit underneath here, and it pops up, and voila. This is a Sportback, Liftback, or Fastback. There is 2 cubic feet more than an Audi S5 and 4 cubic feet more of trunk room than the 440 from BMW, and you save 10,000 bucks. Did I mention that already? So let's do the Liftback, Sportback, Fastback test, and stop, and let's get this to... Yes. And hopefully it opens up to that exact spot. It's got a beeper. Thank you, beeper. And do we open up to the same height? I think this was the height. Yeah. But Mike, this is the same as a German car, and that's why I didn't buy a German car, because you can't remote start in the winter. That is not true. You can actually get an app with Kia. It's called the UVO, UVO. No idea why it's called that. But you can remote start your car. You can get your heated steering wheel on, your heated seats. You can find your car. You can set up diagnostics. You can do a whole bunch of things with your app. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. Neither did I until I watched this video. And the second most important reason to buy this car is because it's got a 10-year powertrain warranty. That means if you blow your motor up in the first 10 years, they will cover it. But if your power window regulator doesn't go up, or you have a check engine light, or any of that fun stuff, you've got 5 years. And that is because it is bumper to bumper. 5 years, 10 years if you blow something up, powertrain warranty. That is important for people that buy German cars because they want the same drive feel, they want the power, and they want warranty. Here we are inside the Kia Stinger, and yeah, I feel pretty good. There's a lot of pieces that I'm sort of familiar with. I'm familiar with this Mercedes-Benz sort of aeronautic design of the vents, same with the Audi A3 or TT, and that makes sense because the designer actually designed the TT. So this is from the Audi TT. The price is not an Audi TT though. I really do like all this Alcantara on the ceiling, and this is Alcantara, and it's very well finished. There is good enough padding here, so I like test that for quality. What other cool stuff do I see here? I like the aluminum that pulls through. It's very clean. But here's something really funny. When I used to sell cars for the Germans, it was always about telling people, yes, that car has a backup camera, but our backup camera is better. And yes, that does have a V6 and does make that much power, but our V6 is better. And now I'm trying to find out why. Because this has wireless charging. Everything is very neat and easy to understand, and that is because they started with a platform of easiness. When you start with the basics, you highlight everything, and that's what Kia has done. Even the heated and cooled seats, now you have heated seats in the back, but the heated and cooled seats is simply by pushing this upward and downward to activate your heated seats. Now, the things I can pick on are pretty much nitpicking, because I can complain that the volume and the change the tracks are on the left side. You see, I'm used to it on the right side. When I want to turn the volume up, I simply just push it or I scroll it up on my right side. I'm not used to doing it on my left side. And with my heated and cooled seats, if I push it up, it activates my heated seat in 3 bars. And if I wanted to bring it down a bar, my mind tells me to pull it back, except when I do that, it goes to 3 cooled seats. So I have to actually push up again for me to go down at 2 bars. Yeah, nitpicking. I do like the aluminum pieces they put together here on the door panel. I have aluminum foot pedals. I do like my shifters here. The steering wheel is nice and solid. It's got a good squeezable ratio. Not a really big fan of the black plastic down here or the center horn that is pure plastic. That should be rather leather wrapped. But again, I'm trying to step my standards down a little bit because I realize I'm saving money. They've got this little tray here. trying to figure out how this tray goes back properly. Maybe it's this way, maybe it's that way. If I owned this car, I would get rid of it. You see, these seats are awesome. When I put it in sport, the bolsters squeeze me. When I put it in eco, automatically they deflate automatically. I don't have to go in the system and change it. Wait, I can't go in the system. You see, the only way to change these seats are through the button down here. I push it up or down and it squeezes me in and out. It actually doesn't give me a display to show me how the seats are being inflated or deflated or what exactly the button does that I touch. I have to think. Yeah, that's my back. Yeah, that's my lumbar. And yeah, that button is to extend the bottom of my seat, which the Germans don't offer. That is cool. They offer bottom leg extensions that are automatic, not manual. You see the Audis, you have to put your hand underneath and slide it forward. This is powered. I love these seats. Nappa leather, fully bolstered. It's really, really soft headrest. Really soft headrest. Did I say really soft headrest? That's fully adjustable. Thank you for giving me an adjustable headrest. Hand, elbow, perfect position. One of the underlying themes that I'm really noticing is that this is built for the domestic market. You see, German products actually built for the European market, and then they add stuff for the North American market, but this is really designed for the North American market. And I say that because it's bigger, and everything just seems more North American-ish. And I really mean that because I'm seeing these cup holders, and they're massive, and they fit right here. You see, German cars don't put cup holders this obvious, and thank God they do, because cup holders are important. I can tell you how many people don't buy German cars because they have terrible cup holders. And if you're one of them, make sure you smash that like button. I just realized this infotainment system is touchscreen. The whole time I was using this, trying to figure it all out. Well, hey, hit all menus and it's laid out very easy to use. I don't use any of that stuff though. I use Apple CarPlay. Apple CarPlay is dominant in my mind. But don't worry, if you want a bigger screen, this is 8-inch. If you want a bigger screen, the new version will have a bigger screen. But if you just want one that does your daily stuff, this is enough. So the Stinger has 5 different drive modes, all displayed right through here. And when I go through different modes, it changes the color on my screen. So that's kind of cool. So now I've got Smart, that's in blue, Eco, that's in sort of a greenish color, Comfort, that's in white, Sport, that's in red, and Custom that I can convert through the infotainment system here and choose what I want. So let's get out there and take it for a drive and see what this Stinger is all about. I'm gonna make a right turn here and foot to the ground. And nice rear-wheel drive bias, baby. Wasn't expecting that. This thing makes some jam. Peanut butter and jam. All right, so I'm in the 2021 Stinger GT Neon Orange Edition. And first things first, we'll put it in sport mode. So just take this drive little toggle down here and turn it into sport. And my first things first, my seat bolsters really tighten me up. Everything turns into red in the car. And I've set my active engine sound to enhanced. And what that basically does is it takes the sound from the engine and amplifies it. It doesn't create its own sound, it amplifies the engine sound, which is cool. But I want to talk about the suspension, and this is basically, when I closed my eyes and jumped in here, obviously I didn't have my eyes closed when I jumped in here, but you get the drift. This feels exactly like an Audi S4 from the suspension perspective. And it's actually more German than an Audi S4 suspension. And I think they did that because they want people to feel like it's a German car through and through. You know. So I made some badges here. I think I'm gonna pick Cool Kids Drive Kias. So let me take my Cool Kids Drive Kias, put it right here. Remind me that Cool Kids Drive Kias. All right, so let's talk about daily driving this car and not in sport mode. So let's turn this right back into comfort and let's see how she drives. And definitely softer suspension now. One thing I will tell you is that this has probably the best keeping your lane system I've ever driven. This doesn't even really let me get close to the lines on either side. It actually just feathers me into the center of the road all the time. Like, even high-end German cars want me to actually almost touch the line and then steer me back in. This keeps me centered at all times, and it's magical. It actually has too much sometimes, but it wants to keep me in the middle of the road, which is really nice to have. Wish it had a drive, and I wish it had a sport I could pull back. this, seeing the D, I know we're in sport mode, I'm in comfort mode, but let's go to sport mode. Okay, my seat tightened up again. I know that we are in sport mode, and it says sport on the left side, but I would like to see an S. I'm just so used to seeing S's on cars that I would like to see an S. Let's see how it is to shift here. Downshifting is decent. It's not... I wouldn't say they're lightning fast shifts. I would say that they're decent. All right, so let's try launch control here. I hold the stability program down for 5 seconds here. Traction and stability control disabled. Flip the ground, and launch control ready, and off we go. That speedometer is flying up. I do not feel that I'm driving that fast. That is so typical German. And back there, for some reason, I thought I was switching the stability program off, and I hit the start and stop button, and I went around a corner and I pinned it, and the back end came out in such a whiplash type fashion that I thought, I was like, but I just now realized that it's actually the stability program lets you go that far. Awesome. Love it. Love it, Kia Stinger. Now the mods you can do on these things must be ridiculous. I haven't dug pretty deep into them to see what you can do, but I did find a lot of videos out there on exhaust just to make this thing sound more aggressive. And the sounds that came out of those motors were phenomenal. You guys should check it out. Google exhaust sounds on the Kia Stinger 3.3 liter. I am super shocked on how rear-wheel drive biased this vehicle is. It is awesome. Now you can't totally disconnect the front wheel so you can make it total rear-wheel drive, but man. So guys, so I have figured this out. I know exactly what you guys are asking for, and here it is. This is how I describe the Kia Stinger. Transmission, Cadillac CT5. Handling, Audi S5. Maybe a little bit better than an Audi S5. In terms of sound, engine sound, not a BMW, more Audi S5. In terms of back end, slippage and slidey good times, BMW. They've mixed it all together. In terms of build quality inside, it's a mixed bag of lots of different things, but the suspension is 100% better than Audi. And I say that because they are trying to make this probably as German as possible in a solidly belt, you know, if that's even English, as possible. Headrest, nice and soft. Seats, I like the way they push you in, sort of like a Mercedes. So we got a lot of pieces here. The outside, hood, fender flares, hood flares, Jaguar. A lot of mixed pieces. Yeah. Let's talk about price again. Thanks for watching, and as always, please consider subscribing.